Hey everybody, welcome back to this episode of Darkhawk Talk. This is for issue number 4, aka the Savage Steel issue. Get right into it. So we start off the best way possible with a nice crotch shot. Tonight we shall see if the time and money have been wisely spent tonight. The world will meet Savage Steel, and then you got the Daily Bugle here already talking about Darkhawk, so his name's already out there. It's kind of weird, like Chris hasn't really talk to any media or anything, but his name's still getting out there, as you'll see in this episode. So we start off with a prison break-in with Darkhawk. He's breaking into Rikers Island. Quick shout out to the writer here, Danny Fingeroth and Mike Manley on pencils. All right, so he's breaking into Rikers Island. Why would he do such a thing? He's looking through, trying to find somebody. Finds this guy mopping over here. So it gives him the business, pulls him up, and says he's looking for, there you go, says he's looking for Louis McPhee, and he gives him down the hall. So Darkhawk goes down there, rips the door off, hog ties Louis McPhee, and starts asking questions about his dad, Mike Powell, tries to figure out what's going on, why he took the money, all this stuff, and don't know where he's on the money. He said he'd talk that nosy DA wipe his into laying off basin and to arrange for payments to the crew of the Lilliput. The what exactly? We'll find out what the Lilliput is here in a couple issues. So the Rikers Island cops come, Freeze Freak tell him to stop. Darkhawk surrenders until he doesn't, with the classic 90s not joke there, and just pulls over a lot of correctional officers and then hits that one right in the chest. Remember, Darkhawk's a good guy. And then you get one of the other prisoners here grabbing a gun and going for Darkhawk. So he's trying to get him to go with them. And then Darkhawk has this weird ability to, like, I honestly don't remember how many times he uses it because it's pretty infrequent. But he's got like a zoom, like a camera zoom in on the guy's face. Apparently it becomes black and white. But basically it makes it so he can aim his claw out. And so he does that. He still gets shot. Here you see his little bullet holes there. Crashes the window, crashes into the water, splooshes, and then gets away. The cops are suspicious that he was actually on their side, as they're wont to do. So they got this family out here just chilling on their boat, and then Darkhawk climbs up. This kid knows who he is somehow, assuming from the Daily Bugle, but how does the Daily Bugle know his name? I don't fucking know. So he just wants to lift ashore, and the pilot, the captain's like, no need for violence, we'll get you there. And he's like, if I die here, it'll be with anybody. I love knowing my secret. These people, they're scared of me. Cool. All right, Chris. All right, and so he gets to land and then transforms back into Chris, which his wounds are healed up and everything. And then he, just gets kicked out by this gentleman right here, saying it's private property, so he jets it. It's pretty exciting panels there. And all right, so meanwhile, back in Queens, Chris gets back, and then completely healthy hobby here. Jason is stabbing the pillow, pretending like he's Frank Castle, and the pillow is Jigsaw. That's pretty sweet. The mom comes in, guilt trips him about being out late doing stuff, and that she's causing him, or Chris is causing her, there we go, to miss important meetings about the Basin prosecution. And then the mom decides that the kids have had enough Mario and pillow stabbing, and they're going to head to McRonald's to grab some grub. And so they go out. Chris says he can't go. And then he comes out to his bike because he's going to go do something we'll see here in a second. And then on his bike, beware of the curse of the Darkhawk. Give it up now while you still can. What does it mean? And if you remember back an issue ago, he got a phone call saying the exact same thing. All right, so Chris rides his bike over to the Copper Lantern. Clever play on words because this is a cop bar. He's instantly recognized as Mike Powell's kid. He talks, and this dude doesn't like him. He's a crooked cop. That's why I never liked him. Chris is about to turn into Darkhawk to beat the shit out of this cop, which probably would have been a bad idea, but he gets pulled off by Officer Zafar, a.k.a. Jim Zafar. And then Chris, looking for somebody to talk to. He's like, oh, he seems like a good guy. He helped me out the other day, if you remember in the last issue. and then maybe I could tell him about Darkhawk, but yeah, he doesn't. So Chris is in the bathroom at home later, and he transforms into Darkhawk. The bullet wounds are gone, so that establishes the fact that if Chris gets hurt, he could transform into Darkhawk, and the Darkhawk body won't get hurt, and vice versa. If Darkhawk gets hurt, Chris can revert back to his human form, and then the Darkhawk body will heal himself up. Chris goes to take his helmet off. He's scared to see what's underneath, but then Jonathan knocks on the door, interrupts him. And then Chris, gets out of the bathroom and is like, well, I'm going to go meet Cheryl later. And his mom's cool with him going out late in the school night. So he goes out there and he finds the Lilliput, which is this plane right here. And they're unloading the cocaine. So Darkhawk is going to go mess it up. But then this big ass arm grabs him. And sure enough, there he is. With the sklong onomatopoeia. That's Savage Steel. He'll whack them, knocks him up, or knocks him out into some storage crates. And then Darkhawk's like, oh, it's super armored muscle now, an evil Iron Man type, eat Dark Force creep, which is interesting because, as we'll find out way later on, around your issue 24, those blasts aren't actual Dark Force. That's just what he calls the force blast that comes from his chest. But I always thought it'd be cool if he actually shot out energy from the Dark Force. And if you don't know what the Dark Force is, you can look it up in the Marvel continuity there. But it's basically like an alternate. I don't call it alternate, but it's like a dark dimension, right? And other characters tap into it. Like Blackheart is the overall ruler of it. And I always thought it'd be cool if he tapped into that to actually make it a Dark Force blast, but as you'll find out later, it's not. All right, so they fight. Savage Steel straight up just punches his fucking head off. His helmet goes flying, and Savage Steel bashes him into that again. Chris is pretty fucked up, and then Savage Steel goes to finish him off, and then he's like, OMG, your face, and we don't see it as the reader here, but it's implied that Chris's face is quite fucked up underneath that Darkhawk helmet. And that momentary distraction is all he needs to shoot a Dark Force blast right at Savage Steel, which stuns him. And then Savage is mad, tries to shoot him, but Darkhawk gets his shield up, and Savage throws a plane wing at him. But then Darkhawk goes there, and he drops a whole plane on him, and he thinks he killed him, so he's trying to justify it as self-defense. All right, so the cocaine smugglers take off. Savage Steel goes after him and forces them towards this gas tank here and just straight up blows them the shit up, just kills everybody that came off the Lilliput. And, Darkhawk's like, he killed him. He's kind of happy about it, kind of surprised. Was he from a rival gang? Was he a hero? Am I? Lots of moral questions there. Among which is, who the heck is Savage Steel? All right, and then the last page here, you might recognize some of these guys from earlier on, but here, that's a clue. The armor is even tougher than those former stained technos promised us. What we wanted to last a Punisher who's controlled by the cops, but his reps so new, so mixed, breaking into Rikers, couldn't take a chance to ruin things. The important thing is that we keep on our agenda to show criminals that they're not safe anywhere. The Punisher is a psycho, a wild card. He'll eventually have to be eliminated, and if Darkhawk ends up in our way, he too will die. So that's setting up for some future storylines there. So Savage Steel is working with the cops at the NYPD to basically be their own anti-hero to do the stuff that they can't do. All right, and then this is the actual final page, my bad. So Darkhawk back into his room. He's starting to get curious about what it was Savage Steel saw. So here goes, lifts it off, and oh my god, no! And then he drops the helmet, clank, clank, clank. And he's stunned by what he sees underneath. And that, my friends, is all that there is for Darkhawk issue 4. I'm actually pretty excited about the next one because it's going to be the introduction of a character that's going to appear basically all the way up through issue 50, and that is Portal. So we'll look forward to that. And I appreciate you listening. If you have any suggestions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'd be surprised if anybody actually is listening to this. This is more of just a project I'm doing on my own just for fun, but if you're listening, give me a like. That's always appreciated. And until next time, my friends, stay dark.